Hello all, it's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike, and I do bees at the bee crossing. Welcome to Southeast Louisiana. It's November 12th. Well folks, I am enjoying this weather. It was in the 20s. It was in the 20s just the other night, Monday night. And you know, last night and tonight again, possibly, Aurora Borealis. We had the Northern Lights again within a year, twice now. I think it's within a year, if not real close. But yeah, Northern Lights in Louisiana again. We're done beekeeping for the most part, but still things to do. You know, I have a few screen bottom boards left and I don't like them. I got out of those a while back. I know it's hot down here and some people have this pros and the cons for it and all. I don't like them, and I'm not against them for other people, and I surely don't tell people not to use them at all. It's a preference for me. And remember, this is not a how-to video because I'm going to do some stuff today that's showing you not out in the bee yard, I know, so you might want to go ahead and turn off now because we're going to go in the honey house. But it's not a how-to video. I don't do how-to videos. I never have. That's my slogan. That's my thing. Everybody knows me by that now. It seems like, you know, besides what old Horse Shop started with world famous Mike Berry. But yeah, not a how-to video. It's a how I do video. But when it comes to screen bottoms, again, I don't advocate against them. I don't do that. No, I just don't care for them. I didn't buy them for ventilation when I first bought them. For me, it was about the mites dropping through the screen if I could get my hands on hygienic bees cleaning mites off, dropping them through the screens. I don't worry so much about all that anymore because I don't know how effective it was. And what happened was I did begin to use oxalic acid vapor, and it began to be a pain with screen bottoms. I put the slides in and put it in, you know, or I could slide it in the top and do it. I can block it off. It's just, and honestly, they were more expensive. I couldn't build them myself, although I don't build anything anymore. And so why I'm on this tangent about the screen bottoms, because that's about the only thing in beekeeping I got left to do is go throw some slides in the bottoms. And I can show you that, I suppose, depending on how long this video goes. If not, the other 3 items I need to do as far as beekeeping with the hives is I got to break off those other triples. And I point that way because that's the direction of the new yard that we're in. I got to break those off. I got to weigh all the colonies and feed as necessary. I got to get a bucket off. Thanks, Big Mike, for reminding me of that. Yesterday when I talked to him, I got to go out and get a bucket off that I left on. Y'all saw me feed him. And is that it? Is that the 4 things? Triples, put the slides in, weigh everybody, and pull the bucket off. And of course, if somebody's like, feed them. And at this point, again, it's a beautiful day. It's going to get back up into the low 80s again. So it's not quite time for fondant yet because down here the fondant will begin to melt a little bit. But as long as it's not 80 for more than a few hours, we're golden. We can stick fondant on. So we'll either put fondant on some of the light hives, which this time of year, I'd rather do some 2-to-1. And I have that. I still have a bucket, or 2.5 buckets of turbo feed left. I bought a bunch of that stuff at the expo last year from HillCo. And so I can just pour that right in and feed a few in some bucket feeders. So that's about it for beekeeping, folks. I'm sorry. It's going to be chores from here on out. And this is a vlog. It's not a how-to video. So we're going to be doing chores. Stuff has to be done in the winter. And now that I don't have a full-time job anymore, I've already really got a lot done. Normally I'm scrambling to get wax done, clean up, redo it. So organize my area. Well, I've done all that. I got to get some inventory in for some boxes that I need to have ready for the spring. Everything's organized, but for the most part, clean some frames. That's it. You know, so hey, that's all we're going to be doing is chores. All my brood wax is done because that wax melter I got, that solar wax melter, I took care of the brood comb as the summer was going on. So that was a great addition because I was able to leave that out in this hot Louisiana sun. And as I got burr comb, brood comb, and I didn't do a cutout this year, so I may have had to melt that. But I probably would have just cycled that through it as hot as it is down here. So that's done. I mean, but there are still some chores. But hey, it's nice being somewhat caught up. But here, it'll be February before we know it. Look, it's almost Thanksgiving. My goodness. What day did I say it was today? The 10th, 11th, something like that? I don't know. 12th? I don't know. I don't know what I said. That's another thing when you retire. You kind of tend to lose track of the days. So, yeah, another thing. Well, that's locked. That's going to do me no good. We got the honey house pretty much straightened up. I don't know if y'all have seen it. Look at these from, these bees are cool. I got these from RP Beeworks. Link in the description, folks, for RP Beeworks. Makes the beetle traps and all that. I'm going to mix my bees up here. Those are pretty neat. Got some comb honey to make chunk honey with still. Got to cut some of that up. Those are nice squares. But we didn't get the most beautiful comb honey, so I was only able to make about 15 actual squares this year. And it happens like that. I don't put a huge focus. You can see in the back, we're going to make some creamed honey. This was the seed I used. Everybody asked me whose I used. Bruce Jenny is the one that kind of turned me on to this Cox honey. That's how I made my initial seed, and I got a little left, and I keep saving it, but I'm actually going to mix it today with my seed that I made, and I'll explain that when we do creamed honey. Going to do a little cinnamon. Got our wax all stacked for this year. And again, cleaned up finally. It's kind of, you can move around in here a little bit. Got all our honey bucketed up. That's part of it. Couple drums of buckets of turbo feed. Got the old boiler. I'm going to show you how we're going to fill. I hope we have enough to make creamed honey today. If not, the video will have to continue another time. But I've got my hard plumb now to my tank. I'll show you how I get honey out of there now that I don't have a valve. I have to go through the speed fill, but I've got this worked out, and I don't know, I got a pretty good system now where if I just come in and want to fill one jar, I can pretty quick. Made some candles. I just had Beelite Candles. I'll put the link in the description for them as well. She took a mold that I had that was destroyed. It was a soap mold that I made this out of, and the soap mold was all destroyed. It was flimsy anyway, and it finally, I got a hole in the bottom of it because the wick going through it, it wasn't made to have a wick. I made the hole, and then the hole finally tore. And here it is right here. See how flimsy? It's a soap mold, and I made a hole. Well, now see how it tore? Well, Emily at Beelite Candles, I had met them at the Louisiana conference and then again at the expo, and they're going to be at the expo again. Great company for candle molds, reasonably priced, as reasonable as any of the big box stores, that's for sure. She took that mold and made me a new mold, and I pulled it out. It was the first one I wanted to pull out. See how well it went, and man, it came out great. And if you have a figurine, they can make a mold for you. She can make the mold for you, and they got hundreds of candle molds. So really, go check them out. They're in North Carolina. They're a family-owned business. They sell beeswax as well. They sell it in bulk. They sell the pearls, the beeswax pearls. I made some of those. They're hard to make. It takes so much time to make them. And I used them to make my cutting board butter. They do melt really good. But you know how long it took me to make, and I've already used a bunch, and how long it took me to make those? So they sell those where you can buy those from them if you need beeswax. But yeah, they're a great company. Beelite Candles. They don't pay me anything like that. They're not sponsoring this video, but I always, you guys know me, I feature, look at my eyes. I look like Kilgore or Kilroy. Look at my nose there. Kilroy. Anyway, you know me, I just feature those businesses that I patronize and that I like and that have done well by me as far as anything I've done with them. So there you go, Beelite Candles. Check them out. I'm excited about that mold. I also bought a new mold. Can't wait to see it. Apparently, it was new at the expo. It's a bee cube. We're supposed to be making creamed honey in the honey house, by the way. That's what this video is about. But who knows what we go off into and what tangents we get into, go off into when we're out here doing videos. Because you know what? It's a boring time of the year. Okay. I've never seen it since I just seen it at the expo that day. I've never seen it close up. I got something in my wax. Yeah, so anyway, making candles, kept that out because I caught swarms, but that can go be put away now. So yeah, we're all cleaned up, organized in here. Oh yeah, see my honey shelf? So what I do is I get honeys and I taste them and then I put them on my shelf. I forgot to do a tasting. I won't do it this video. I won't bore you with it yet. We're gonna do it in a video though. I got this honey from Anthony in Virginia. Pretty cool. Be happy honey. What a huge bottle. Thank you, Anthony. Rusty from Red Scarf. Hadn't tried his yet, and I'm going to try all these at once. That's why I've got them pulled out. Got this from a lady at church. She is a missionary over there in, in different places. She's got a mission that they started in Haiti. They're in India now, and also this came from Kenya. So a product of Kenya. Can't wait to try that. Mark from Zen Bee. Hadn't tried yours yet, Mark, but we're going to because I'm waiting for everything. Actually, I have tried Bee for Real at the conference. Y'all saw that at the Louisiana conference. So I have tried his, but I'm going to try it again. It's crystallizing, man. Mark started to crystallize too. Now this is, y'all know how I feel about B52 honey. I love that label. I love that. Well, and it's me being, you know, naval aviation. Although she's Air Force aviation, B-52s, how cool was that? But I love that emblem, that logo. B-52 honey. Now, this one says nuclear powered. Why? Because it's raw unfiltered product of Northwest Louisiana that's got pepper in it. She is certified Louisiana, U.S. veteran-owned business. So, can't wait to try the hot honey. And I noticed hers doesn't have the pepper flakes in it, so she definitely infused it. And I'm not a hot honey fan. Like, I don't love it. It depends how hot it is, but hers is nuclear powered, so there you go. This is stuff my sister got me from Sicily. This was from this I've already done. I got to open this one. This is from I've talked about them, Kahlua honey when my wife was over there, and that's all my seed for my creamed honeys. So yeah, I'm gonna use a little bit of the Cox seed, but just to finish it out so it's not laying around, and then my seed. I always pull my seed off first. So anyway, there you go. Wow, that was a long intro of what is really going on around here. A lot of just time of just yakking, but that's what I do because it's a vlog, guys. It's not a how-to video. I had a guy tell me one time, and he said something like, state your point, make your point, and get to your point. You know, like, it's a vlog, folks. It's a vlog. It's just not a how-to where I'm going to go, here's my point of my video. All right, I'm at the point now. You know, hey, sorry, I'm yakking. So we're gonna make some creamed honey. And the reason I'm making this video, I made a video when I stirred it in a bucket. I also showed you my creamed honey method in one video. I'm pretty sure I did. I bottled it, but we're gonna do another one real quick. Somebody asked me to do it, and I'm just gonna show the machine really more so than making the creamed honey. But that's what I'm doing right now. But now that I think about it, I did a video. Who was that viewer that asked me that if I would do one? Can't remember. I had to look back, but you'll get one in this one too. Oh yeah, another thing. Still working on pollen. So I got this pollen clean. That's another video I got to do. That pollen's clean. Got that cleaned. This pollen is only dried, not clean. This one needs to be cleaned. This one, see, there's still bee parts in it. Got to get that one cleaned. I didn't do a pollen trap video, but you can go back and see how I trap them. I do one with all the different traps that I do. So this has really turned out to not be a creamed honey video. Now I'm wondering where my other pollen is that I cleaned. And then I got more that's in the freezer. I got about the same amount of that's in the freezer. Matter of fact, one of them is in here. Let's look. This is ready for creamed honey to go in. I've got it set to its lowest setting. That was froze to the floor. So this, I freeze it all because when you get pollen out of the hive, of course, any of you guys know that have messed with it, it's soft and it can mold. It's got moisture in it. See, it's real soft. And then that is goldenrod. Golly, can y'all smell that? Can you smell it? Golly, it's strong. I trap most of mine in the fall so I get goldenrod. Whew, man, that smells. I got that, and then I got another one, about the same amount, maybe a little bit more in the other freezer inside in the house. Well, folks, now I'm wondering where my other dried pollen is. Huh. Oh well, I'll find it. It always turns up. I put it in a safe place so that nobody else can find it but me, and nobody can take it. And that only I'll know where it's at. And then I forget where it's at. Because some of y'all don't lie. Y'all done that before. Don't lie. Y'all know. Since we're doing a creamed honey video that's really not about creamed honey, it's about everything else, let's look at this. This is something I got asked about a lot, not this box, but in particular about warming honey and stuff. I keep bottles in my warming cabinet. Of course, y'all have seen this 100 times with my outdated calendar. I know everybody makes sure and tells me it's outdated. I just leave it up there. I don't know why. So this is, of course, I got a custom order for a shower, and I filled that with my easy speed fill. I think that was great for those. But this is where I keep honey that comes back from the market that's bottled, or I bottle like I already have prior to the market. I keep my 2 buckets ready to go in the bottler, so they're somewhat loose, and I bottle prior to the market so it's ready a few days before. Anything comes back from the market goes in here, right? Anything. So that way I always have honey at the ready here and in my tank. And so this can run down, but I still have a warm tank with honey in it. So either way I've got honey. So this is how I tackle the crystallization problem in the bottles. This is how I do, okay? This is how I do. So I built that. I put this controller. It's not an Inkbird. A lot of people use Inkbird, which is a great controller. This was just one I had to wire, but it works good too. But a guy had it, a friend had it, and sold it to me for what he paid. But if I get a bottle that's crystallized, for example, like I had, everybody asked me, what about those few bottles? Or I don't have a big warming box. I said, look, I got an old shipping crate. I literally put this switch on it. This is a dimmer switch from any of your big box hardware stores or small hardware stores. Put a little latch on it. Anytime it's latched, it means there's something in it. I put this battery operated temperature sensor, but I don't use it. I probably should. I put this stuff on it. What is this called? Reflectex or whatever. I put it around the sides. I put a socket in the middle with a light bulb. Now I know these light bulbs are going away. This thing is on a 1/4 power. I can turn it all the way up. I can turn it all the way where it was, or I can turn it all the way down. That's the lowest. It was just above the lowest. This bottle was completely solid. It's a Chadwick Farms bottle. I already ate the honey, so I refilled it with mine because I needed this. We took this camping in the canoe trip up in the Quetico Provincial Park in Canada. We were out there for a week in the wilderness, and this is the bottle I brought. And we didn't eat a lot of honey out there, actually. We only ate his head worth. And because like I said, I already ate Chris's honey out of here. It was my morning honey because I got one of his for my shelf. So anytime he sends me extra, I eat it. Anyhow, well, it sat in the camping box. I forgot it was in there. I was going through the camping stuff, just to inventory and make sure everything was put away for the next trip next year. And I found it. I'm like, oh, I stick it in this bottle. Boom, done deal. Oh, don't want to shake it. That is an incandescent bulb. But this little thing works good. Matter of fact, it will burn honey if I turn it up too high. So it works really good. And it's usually done within anywhere from, depending on where I put it, I can get it done in 8 hours. I can get it done overnight. I turn it on low and just do it overnight. Then I turn it off, shut my lid, and I don't latch it, meaning there's nothing in there. Because sometimes I'll forget I put honey in there. And I'm like, oh no. So I'm going to put this in the house now. But if I see it's latched, I go, oh, there's honey in there. Let me grab it. And I have overheated honey before and had to get discarded, which is not a good thing. I don't like discarding anything those bees work that hard for, ever. So this video is really not about making creamed honey, but showing a video on my creamer. I think that's what he actually asked. He wanted to know about the creamer, making it in the creamer, because I did a video on small scale in the bucket, and then HillCo comes out with this like a month later. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's what I need. So I'm taking these knobs, and these knobs just pull right out. Now I could use my pump. I got a honey pump, but I don't want to get the big honey pump out right now. And that honey pump and the easy fill or speed fill will pump creamed honey into the jars when it's, because it's, after you mix it in this thing, it is thicker. Now it's not set up yet, but it is thick, and that pump will work. Both the big pump and the speed fill. But I don't need it. I'll bottle out of here on this one because I just don't bottle that much. I'll bottle 4 cases of 9-ounce jars. So I'm gonna take this thing apart, take my lid off. I take these three thumb screws out, and this lifts right off. Now this is heavy. It's a robust motor. So I'll set it to the side. I'll leave the dasher or mixing wheel in there, or mixing paddle in there, and we're only gonna do about, at the most, 3 gallons. It's usually about 2.5 gallons is what I measured. And I know right where 2.5 gallons goes. It goes about right there. And I'm hoping I have enough in my bottler to put it in here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So all I'm gonna do is move this over here. Actually, so what I have to do now, I'm gonna do it this way. I shouldn't have to prime it because there's still some honey in the pump, a little bit of honey right down here in the pump. But if I ever do have to prime it, I keep this jar laying around with a little bit of honey that I can pour. I don't use a syringe that they send with it. I personally don't like using that little fill hole right there, that little knob. I like to just, these are quick, easy hose clamps with thumb wheels. I don't keep this one super tight. I just pull it off of here and pour a little bit down there. So I always keep a little bit of this, and what this jar is for is to get my air and all that, just to get my pump flowing. I use this jar. I want to purge the hose in case any honey has set up and crystallized before I put it in jars, or in this case, the creamer. So what we're going to do right now is we're just simply going to get some honey flowing. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit of honey flowing, make sure my honey pump is primed. We're going to tighten this up, and I'm going to tear that so I got 6,000. I'm just going to open my valve there. That's going to push some fluid in there, honey. Let's see if it's primed. Oh, yep, it's pulling the honey. Yep, primed, good, didn't have to prime it. Just going to push a little through to kind of purge anything that may have set up. Hopefully that doesn't hurt my total, because I am way down on honey. So now I'm going to hit my clear button just to push some honey back a little bit. That pushes honey back out of my tube. Clear a little bit more out. That's so I don't make a mess when I disconnect this. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this. I can take this off, not to put this back on. I like to keep that under there because I don't clean this every time. I bottle probably every other day, at least 3 times a week. We're going to pump some honey into here. I just don't know if we're going to have enough honey, folks. We're almost where we need to be. So I know to fill it just when I start coming over that paddle with liquid honey, and then the rest is going to be cream. So right now I'm not seeing any air bubbles or nothing crazy coming out of here. We don't want any crystallized honey. It has been warmed up. I warmed it overnight to 105 to 110. All right, we're starting to get air bubbles. We're right at the end. Come on, air bubbles, a little bit more. Don't do me wrong now. Oh, all right, so we're getting at the bottom. I don't want to suck off the bottom. And you know what? We're right over the paddle. So we might be in business. We are in business. We have just enough, and we're going to make creamed honey. So that's what I do. I fill it to right above those paddles with clear honey. And what I got to do now, we have to stop the video and I have to let this cool. I don't want to throw in my seed and kill off any crystals with heat. I don't think it would at this temp. Now, how Dice did his honey, his creamed honey, I've explained a little bit in my other creamed honey video. He did it for 2 to 3 days. He stirred it. He heated it to pasteurization temp, 150, because that kills the yeast. You want to kill the yeast in your honey so it doesn't ferment, because what happens when you crystallize honey, it tends to, your moisture is separating from your sugars is what's happening. And you'll get a water content that begins to lay on one side of your honey. And when that water lays on one side of that honey, you got the crystal on the other. Now you got a higher moisture content on one half where there's a lot of yeast, you got sugars, and you ferment it. So when you crystallize it, which is what we do when we cream honey, we end up creating a ferment bomb if we're not careful. Now, that's how he did it to kill the yeast. It also killed all the crystals. I try to kill all the crystals less than 110, so I'm not getting over that 113 threshold people talk about, killing off all the benefits. And like Bob Benny says, also, if you do heat it higher, it also depends on how long you keep it at that temp. And he explains that very well. I've heard it in a lecture, and I've also heard it in one of his videos. So I don't keep it that long at 110 or below, just enough maybe a day or two to get the crystals down on a solid bucket, a day or two on just that one, just overnight. I don't pasteurize mine though, but Dice did it like that. It needs to get to room temperature, and then he would set, after he mixed it for 2 days, 1 to 2 days, he would set it at 57 degrees. And it's a 1 to 10 ratio, 1 to 10 being 1 part seed and 10 parts honey. So that's kind of the recipe. Will I give you exactly what I do? No. I'll show you how I do to an extent, because I learned, especially at this last Mississippi conference, they keep back. People don't give you their secrets on their creamed honey, and I don't blame them. We got to have our own little thing, you know. Every now and then we got to keep a few things to ourselves. Another thing I was talking to them about, and a commercial beekeeper mentioned, you know, not all honey cream's the same. So you may have somebody that's got a little bit of texture to it and one that's really, really super smooth. Hey, you can work as hard as you want. I've got the smoothest seed possible. That Cox honey, there's not a granule in it, it seems like. but I can't get mine to go, mine gets very, very close to that, but just a little off. And I'm pretty sure that's to do with the honey, and mixing times have a lot to do with it. So anyway, but we're gonna get this cooling down, and then I'm gonna show you how I mix it in that, because really this is the video supposed to be about that creamer. Somebody asked me, how do you use your 9-frame creamer? Well, I'm gonna show you eventually. If I quit talking about everything else and tell you everything else that's going on, maybe, just maybe, I'll get to the part of this video. Alrighty, here we are, we're back again. Had to change shirts, it got hot. Out there working, did a little bit of moving around, get my flowers back out for the butterflies, because the butterflies are all over those. All the ones that didn't come in for the 28-degree freeze are now crispy. So tried to save those in the greenhouse, and it's that time of year to put everything in the greenhouse anyway. But I wanted to put them back out. So I was out there doing that, working outside, doing a couple other things, cleaning up in here, finishing up some candles while this cooled down. And again, this video is really just showing me using this creamer more than anything. Not how to make creamed honey, because you can always go and find out from Dice. Plus I did a video, couple videos, one bottling from here and one making it in a bucket by hand, small scale creamed honey. That's what I do. And again, it's not a how-to, right? You can tell by my shirt, right? This is the shirt I changed into for this video, because it's not a how-to. We're just going over this creamer. So anyway, I always pull off my own seed, and this is the cinnamon seed. And then I'm going to use the rest of the Cox. I would use 2 of these, but instead I'm going to use this and the rest of the Cox honey. This stuff is super smooth. Looks pretty similar to what I got. So I was real pleased that mine did follow pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and dump this in here. And we'll get this mixed up. And this is a lot actually. But it's not a 1-to-10 ratio. I need a little bit more. So I'm going to dump the creamed honey seed in there. So anyway, let me get this done. I'm going to dump this in here, and I'm going to dump this one in here. I'm going to scoop it out. It's a little more granulated than the Cox, but I attribute that some because I do use a powdered cinnamon, and I'll show you that in a minute. But I'm not going to put that in right off the bat. I'm going to mix the seed first and then put the cinnamon in. It's pretty smooth, I'm gonna be honest. This actually, my last batch of plain that I just pulled out today is probably the smoothest batch I've ever made, ever. I'm trying to pay more attention to what I'm mixing, how I'm mixing it. All right, so there you go. Just wanted to show you mine. It is also a little darker. See, it's just so, man, look at it. Just so scrumptious looking. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna wrap this up, and then we're gonna turn it on and show you what I'm going to do with it, how this creamer will mix it on up for me. So we got it in there. Oh, it looks, it's kind of mixed. There's mine on that side. Now this cinnamon of mine isn't my smoothest. Like I told you earlier, the smoothest batch I've made, it was my last plain. So I'm going to put this on. I should have lined it up first. There we go. Make it easier on myself. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the thumb screws in, and then here's the cinnamon I use. So everybody told me, and it just happened that we bought this particular cinnamon, and turned out this is what a lot of people tell us to use, is this organic Saigon cinnamon. It's ground up. It's organic cinnamon. That's all it is. So I got my certain amount I put in. I'm gonna have to let y'all figure that one out. Miss Laura from up in Mississippi is the one that's got me kind of straight on what to mix. And you know, I'm gonna be like all those people that keep it close. I'm gonna keep my amounts close. Creamed honey itself is no secret, but how people mix it, what I've got everything set to, and how I do it is it's gonna be my little recipe, folks. No offense, of course. So I'm gonna get this tightened up. What we're going to do is mix in the creamed honey, and I'm gonna slow my mix down a little bit this time. I think I was mixing it too fast as well. It still came out great, but I'm gonna try a little slower. I'm trying to perfect it, but this thing makes it so easy because it is a set and forget. So I'm just gonna turn it on manual for now. I'm gonna turn it on. All right, it's gonna take a second to come on. This is turned to the right. I was listening to some guys talk about the revolutions this weekend. I'm gonna go to run. And I think I was running it for, let me see what the fastest is. The fastest is, all right, so I'm gonna go way back down. And I'm gonna take it to about 20 or so. I'm gonna see what that does. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it go manually, which means it's gonna stay running probably for the next 20 minutes, just to get everything mixed in and incorporated. Maybe 30 minutes, probably gonna go about a half hour. So I'm gonna put my lid on and I'm gonna go in. Not gonna mix any cinnamon yet. I've gotta go get my measuring cup anyway. That's right, you thought I was gonna tell you what size measuring cup. I'm not. Everybody comes out with their own recipe, right? I'm gonna leave it set right there and mix like that for the next half hour at least. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna turn it on to automatic. And what automatic is gonna do on this 9-gallon creamer, when I go to automatic mode, this thing is going to run for 15 minutes and it's going to sit for 45. Then it's going to run 15 and sit 45. 15, 45, 15, 45. Can almost make a song out of that. And that's what it's gonna do. So that's it. That's the 9-gallon creamer in a nutshell. Now my other video, I'll try and link it, but I'll go through the mixing here in a minute. But I'll try and link the other video as well to make sure you see where I bottled it if you didn't see that one already. Especially for the person that asked to make this, I want to make sure, well, a couple people asked, make sure they have the link so they can see the rest of the process once I'm done. Hey there, folks. I just realized I made this creamed honey video, and the question wasn't watching me do the process, because I did a full video on it. The question was, how did it come out? Well, this is part of that batch. And I'm gonna tell you how it came out. I'm gonna have to put the camera up and show you. But did it come out good? Yeah, it came out really good. So I've now had a couple batches run through that. This is my personal cup, so I'm gonna double dip, don't worry. But this is it. I mean, I don't know if you can see it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I've also already used a lot of it. It doesn't take much creamed honey to go around, but that was the question, how did it come out? It came out great. The cinnamon came out awesome, so much so that the cinnamon, this is my 3rd batch here. The 4th batch is going, this is plain. The 2nd batch I made with cinnamon, it's almost gone. They definitely prefer this, the cinnamon over this plain, but this is the consistency that I'm getting. It's just, it's so smooth. I mean, it is, so it's my cup, so, man, it is so smooth. Again, not all creamed honey's cream the same, but this is so smooth. It's so smooth. That's all I can tell you about it. So yeah, it came out great. And I'm selling it like the cinnamon, really. I'll take another bit of that. This is my cup. I can do that. I'm the only one in here. It really doesn't take much creamed honey, though. That is a lot, be honest with you. Man, that's so good. So there you go. That's how it came out. Came out absolutely wonderful. Wonderful. All right, I'm back now. It's been going about 30 minutes. Looking here real quick. I've got my pre-measurement. That's right, pre-measured. You don't want any air bubbles. Although the air that was in it from it being poured, kind of warm, did tend to rise. It hasn't dissipated, so it's on the edges, but on the very edges, that will dissipate. So what I'm gonna do is sprinkle in my recipe's worth cinnamon. One thing about the powdered cinnamon, I don't know if this is who's calling me. Somebody's calling me. It's Horshoff. Look at this. Look at this. Look who's calling. Every time you get ready to do something, he calls. Hello?
Is this Will Fast Mike Barry?
That's him, I guess. I'm recording a video and you call.
What?
I'm recording a video while you called.
Well, give me a call when you finish up, yeah?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to call you right back. Let me get this cinnamon in here.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
He always calls right when you're doing something. So I'm going to keep adding this. I should sift it, but it'll eventually go on down because I'm seeing some lumps. But the one thing I will say about this is the powder. I don't know if people use something other than powdered. Ours came out absolutely wonderful, so I'm sticking with it. But what I was going to say is this stuff will, like, it'll run, and then while it's stopped for its interval, it will, the cinnamon will all rise to the top. And then it'll get mixed back in and it'll rise to the top. And so it took, honestly, I mixed it to get the cinnamon really incorporated. I mixed it for probably 10 days, you know, just to let it really get incorporated. So we're gonna mix it. it's in there. And really, that's about it, folks, honestly. I'll turn this thing to automatic in a minute. Like I said, what it's going to do is it's going to run for 15 minutes. The way they have it set up, it runs for 15. It sits for 45. As I understand it, the 45-minute sitting is when it starts to build its crystals. And then it runs and mixes them back in. Then it builds crystals. And it doesn't, you know, it builds the crystals, but they're not so thick that it sets up yet. I guess that's how I understand it. But nonetheless, that's how I do creamed honey in my 9-gallon HillCo creamer. And I am super pleased with this machine. It has worked great. This is my 3rd or 4th batch in it, and it's so simple to just get it done. It's so easy. So I'm pretty pleased. And there you go. That's how I use the HillCo 9-gallon creamer, for those that asked me to maybe shoot a video on it. It's very simple. And it's your regular creamed honey recipe, whichever one you come up with. Making the creamed honey is the same, but whatever you choose to, if you infuse it or you just do plain. And like I said, the other video will show you that from here out, I just put it in my 9-ounce jars and put it in the fridge. 10 days later, I checked my fridge, was literally almost right at 57 degrees when I turned it to the number 2.5 setting. So I leave it at 2.5 where it's not super cold in there, but it's not warm. And I leave it 10 days and it sets up and it's ready to roll. It's ready to sell. And this cinnamon stuff sells like hotcakes. All right, guys. Well, look, I appreciate y'all joining me. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's Barry's Best Honey. I'm Mike and I do bees. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week and may God bless you. We'll see y'all later.